So Croatia, this video I'm gonna cover actually two cities because I did, after Cuba I went back to Prague, had a bit of rest, and then I went to Zagreb to do volunteering, and then I went back to the UK because I got invited to go to a gig there, and I also needed to drop some stuff and do some exchanges in my bag. And then I went back to Croatia to split. Starting with Zagreb, I went to volunteer in the best hostel of Zagreb, and this was the second okay experience. I told you maybe a couple of videos ago that I had two okay experiences, one bad one, and the other five were all amazing. So basically what happened in this hostel was the task was nothing to do with people. I was actually not in reception a lot. It was to do with like cleaning and tidying up stuff. But this experience was the experience that taught me the most about people and about how to deal with them and about how to solve conflict or how to preserve myself in conflicts for a lot of reasons. So first of all, the hostel, the staff were amazing. Everybody there was so friendly and amazing. Some people I still have contact with, except for one person. And lucky for me, this one person, she was on holiday for half of my experience. It was just that she was extremely curt and extremely rude sometimes. And to me, because I learned how to deal with her, and because when I arrived she wasn't there, so the other volunteers sort of warned me about her, I had this sort of time to then think about how I would act. So to me actually she wasn't that bad, but I would see her treating other volunteers and guests as well. So it was a difficult experience, the second part of the experience there, because I had this person and I was like, I could give up. Like with these exchanges you can always leave if you want, but I decided not to because I took that as a learning opportunity to gain some people skills. I've never been very good with people. I actually really enjoy working in reception and working with guests now, which is incredible. Like that's a gift that World Packers has given me, because I've never been very good with people. It gives you people skills, communication skills, and makes you understand where the other person is coming from, or at least have the desire to understand that. With this woman, like what I did was literally try not to spend any time with her. So I would just go proactively do my shit, and if I didn't have anything else to do I would just find something, and then we could coexist in the hostel that way. The other bad experience I had with people in Croatia was with one of the other volunteers. Not going to detail with it, it wasn't something huge, but it was more like someone who all the other volunteers loved him. And when I arrived, I saw him and I was like, I don't know. He's nice, but there's something about him. He wasn't very nice to me because of something. I'm trying not to be specific here, but he wasn't very nice to me, and we didn't talk. But luckily, it was maybe like 2 days before he left. But again, it's that sort of situation where you're in conflict with someone. And that's what these volunteer exchanges will expose you to, like uncomfortable situations, not only with like other people but also in general, like situations where you have to negotiate things, where people are going to be unfair to you, like hosts will be unfair to you. And as I said, you can choose to leave, and World Packers has like an insurance that will give you, like, they will pay for your accommodation for a while, but you can also choose to face that and learn from it. Of course there are situations in which, you know, everybody knows what their limits are. And there has been a situation where I did leave, and that was in Lithuania, so stick around for the Lithuanian video. And, you know, everybody knows what the limits are, but I don't want that to be the whole content of the Croatian video, because there's a lot more to it, so let's get to the videos. Zagreb was a chilled place, and I'm glad I chose it because I needed a bit of rest after 2 hectic weeks in Cuba. It's not a place with like a very lively nightlife. They do have bars and stuff, but it's not like super like crazy. They do have like beautiful parks. They have the mountains that you can do like walking trails on. It's very chill. So I recommend that if you want some downtime. But it did mean that I did stay in a lot, and I focused on working, which was good on the money side of things. But it was not very good in terms of, I just felt a bit bored in the end. And it was great that I actually left for the UK to go to this gig, because I was really bored by the time I finished it. I've been here this is my third week in Zagreb. I came here looking for a quieter place. I've been coming from a lot of very touristy places like Portugal, Spain. I went to Cuba. So I was looking for somewhere quiet with things to see, but not a lot of like touristy things that you feel like you need to do. So I could do some work. Then when I came back, I went to Split. So I had been to London and Manchester, went to a gig in London, went to Manchester, exchanged some of my clothes, left some stuff behind, mostly left stuff behind. And then I went to Split. Because I had worked in a hostel in Zagreb, they arranged my stay with this hostel in Split, which they were friends with. I only paid 50%, so it was really good. But yeah, Split is amazing. It's very touristy, I'm not gonna lie. Not as bad as Dubrovnik, but it's so beautiful. The beaches are amazing. I went in May, so there wasn't a lot of people around. Hi, I'm on my way to the beach now. Just did about 2.5 hours of work at the hostel. I'm gonna take a break, go into the sea, and then go back to work. I went to this island off the coast called Braci, which was beautiful. Like, when I was there, I said one day I'm gonna get an Airbnb, I'm gonna stay in this island for like 3 or 4 months, and I'm just gonna be a hermit and just hide here and never to be seen again. Feeling brand new now. And that was like my holiday within my holiday. So what people don't realize is that I'm not on holiday. I say like my trip and I'm traveling. This is my lifestyle. So I need a holiday like everybody else, because I'm working a lot when I am traveling, and that's why I stay long in each country. Especially now I have 2 podcasts. I have my online work. I need some downtime. I was working online, but on like maybe half capacity. But I was not working at the hostel, I was chilling. And then after I did that, I realized, and that's what I said about, you will be, as your trip progresses, you will get some experience and you will know what you like and what you don't like, and then you change it. So whereas before I thought I was going to do the whole trip volunteering everywhere, I got to this point and I was like, actually it was really nice to have a break. It got me into the next voluntary exchange with a different energy, like I was more like enthusiastic and like up for it, whereas at this point I was very tired. That's what I do now. So I do 2 or 3 countries like volunteering, and then I stop and I pay for my stay in like a cheap country, of course. I'm doing this now in Lebanon, so I'm gonna start the Middle Eastern tour in Lebanon for 30 days. I'm gonna stay there for a month and not work at the hostel. I'm going to work online, but not at the hostel. I found that rhythm kind of suited me. So that's what I'm trying to show you here, is like learning what works for you and what doesn't. I said about people issues in Croatia, but life is like that, isn't it? Like, I also met like a very important person in there. Like, Carla was my friend. She became my friend. We became friends with this volunteer exchange. We still talk. She was a guest in my podcast, and hopefully we'll still meet somewhere around the world. Absolutely, people make the place. Like, I learned that as well with my trip, because it either works positively or negatively. Like, you can have the same hostel change environment completely just because people left, or like new people arrived and the vibe changes. I've seen that happening over and over again. It makes me think of, first of all, it makes me a bit more resilient. So when I have a bad experience, I try and think, okay, so maybe if different people come and go, it could be different. It makes me think about myself as well. Whether, I could be the person that is bringing a bad vibe to the place. A lot of life lessons in Croatia. Next country though is France, so I see you tomorrow.